We continue our discussion of the themes of the play August, OsageCounty by Tracy, LETTS, the American playwright. So far we discussed three topics for themes from the play August, OsageCounty, and in this lecture we discuss the theme of violence, abuse and power. Violence and abuse, both psychological and physical, seeped into every corner of Western household and into nearly every line of August, OsageCounty. The play is about a family that does not know how to be good to one another as a result of generational trauma, addictive behavior, broken promises and dangerous secrets, and it seems for much of the action that violence and abuse are inevitable byproducts of such sadness, tension and brokenness. As the play unfolds, though, and as the violence ramps up, it becomes clear that LETTS is arguing that violence and abuse are more often than not consciously employed methods of securing and maintaining power over other individuals. From the moment Violet is first shown with her daughters, LETTS establishes the emotionally violent atmosphere that Violet perpetuates in order to maintain power over her three children. In her early interactions with Ivy, Violet disparages her middle daughter in cruel, offhand ways. She tells Ivy she is hopeless after badgering her to disclose how an earlier phone call with Barbara went. And all Ivy can relay is that Barbara said she was on her way. When Ivy tells Violet, perhaps in an attempt to appease her mother, that she called her middle sister Karen as well, and that Karen said she would try to make it home, Violet replies that Karen will be a big fat help just like you, before popping a pill and stating that the only person she wants around is Barbara. When Ivy replies that she doesn't know what Barb is going to be able to do that Ivy herself couldn't, Violet begins attacking Ivy's appearance, telling Ivy that straightening her hair was a mistake, encouraging her to wear makeup and telling her that she looks like a lesbian and needs to spruce up in order to attract a man. From this scene alone, it's clear that Violet attempts to beat her daughters down and level their sense of self-confidence in order to retain power over them. She has clearly been successful with Ivy, who has stayed in her hometown all her life and who is single despite her mid-40s. Violet's abuse of Barbara is different and more insidious. Violet claims to need Barbara and sees Barbara as the only one who can help her, yet Violet rejects Barbara's attempts to draw attention to Violet's addiction, denying it outright with Barbara asks her mother if she is high on pills, because Barbara is the one who can see Violet most clearly and is the only one unafraid of speaking up to her or out against her. Barbara receives the most abuse in the form of pointed verbal jabs and screaming tirades alike. This tension between the two women comes to a head at Beverly's funeral dinner. Sick of her mother's treatment, not just of herself but of Ivy, Karen and Lily Charles and practically everyone else at the dinner table, Barbara accuses her mother of being an addict in front of everyone. Violet responds by gleefully admitting to the label, brandishing her pills and challenging anyone to try and take them away from her. Barbara longs for her mother and fight ensues, one of the rare examples of visible physical abuse in the play. Barbara is as skilled at verbal sparring as her mother. She learned, after all, from the best. Yet there is no longer any chance of either woman securing power through words. The only avenue left then is establishing physical dominance. Barbara's win over her mother is a sure thing, as Violet is weakened both by intoxication and cancer. At the end of the fight, Barbara's triumphant scream I am running things now, is a way of wrestling some sense of agency out of a relationship which for so many years was balanced in Violet's favor. Violet is not the only one in the play who uses emotional violence and abuse as a way to establish power. Mattie Fay, who is nearly a sharp-tongued and cruel lady, she also uses similar patterns to maintain control over her only son, Lily Charles. Mattie Fay's disdain for her son, Lily Charles, permeates every sentence she speaks about him. Even her insistence on calling him Lily Charles, in spite of the fact that he is 37, shows her desire to infantilize him in order to keep him firmly under her thumb. Lily Charles, like Ivy, close to home and has remained unmarried. Like Ivy, Lily Charles must daily bear the brunt of his mother's ire. Though the reasons behind Mattie Fay's abuse of Lily Charles are very different than those for Violet's cruelty towards Ivy. It's eventually revealed that Lily Charles is the product of an affair between Beverly and Mattie Fay, and that Mattie Fay's guilt and shame over this secret has caused her to see her only son as a disappointment. Mattie Fay's abuse towards Lily Charles then is motivated by her own self-loathing. By belittling Lily Charles, Mattie Fay convinces herself she has power over the secret which has come to calibrate her life, even if the maintenance of that illusion saps every ounce of goodness and kindness from her heart. The immediate ways in which abuse and violence are used to hold power, or at least create the illusion that one is in possession of power, throughout the play reveal LETTS' curiosity about the efficacy of such struggles. Rather than creating characters who are cruel, abusive and violent for no reason at all, he creates an atmosphere through his carefully orchestrated character dynamics in which abuse and violence often yield power. Violet and Mattie Fay's cruelty is for each woman a direct means to maintenance of the illusion that their power over their families, their destinies, and themselves. With this, we come to the end of the theme, violence, abuse, and power. And next lecture we discuss familial responsibility and entrapment in the play August, Osage County. Thank you.